Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. I try to tell some stories on Thursdays as part of my reminder to everybody. Find the poems, find the songs, find the jokes, find the stories, find the podcasts that appeal to you, and indulge yourself in them. Because we all have the opportunity to do what they call in Africa, put your baskets at the crossroads. What does that mean? Well, a crossroads, you're heading north from the south, and you only meet people coming back from the north heading back to the south. Or you're heading to the north and you meet people going the other way, right? But when you come to a crossroad, then you have influences coming from east and west. And initially you may say, yeah, well, I understand that, but do you really? It really means the crossing of old and young, the ancient tradition and the contemporary tradition, the stuff that's from the past and the stuff that's in the future. Whatever are the cross-pollinations that happen, that's really important to understand. And so each person has a job, which is to keep the fire burning, to maintain the legacy. Even when you think there's nobody to feel the warmth there, keep the fire burning. That's the message. And each one of us is charged with that, like a kind of an initiatory path that we're following. Have the passion, have the burning, have the desire to couple with the divine in a sacred marriage, but it's not with another human being. It's between you and spirit. You'll hear that heartbeat. That's what they do sometimes when they're about to initiate you. They put your head against the chest of the initiator and they ask you, what do you hear? A heartbeat. Then you know it's the same human contact. It goes beyond your family into the core of who we are. So put your baskets out on the crossroads. And then when you come back to wherever you come back, you'll be filled with experiences, rich experiences, but not necessarily money, experiences of stories that you'll share, people who you met along the way while traveling north to south or south to north, and then you hit east and west. So keep your baskets at the crossroads and keep the fire burning. All right, so now for my journaling friends, I know this may seem ego-oriented, but it's still appropriate. How are you beautiful? Don't say you're not beautiful, and it's not anything that has to do with cosmetics or how anybody might judge you from the outside, even though your outer face is supposed to be in some way a reflection of your inner face. So the beautiful thoughts, the beautiful words, the beautiful feelings you have about being alive, how you interact with other people, the things you really care about, that you're passionate about, all that makes up for your beauty, even the pain, which we'll talk about in a little while. So let me know, how are you beautiful? Don't hold back on it, because you are beautiful. And then I'll share what might seem to be your ego-oriented way of thinking of yourself. I'm beautiful, but it's not like that. Everything is beautiful, isn't it? Homo aestheticus, how do we make beauty in the world? So let me know how you are beautiful. I'll let you know how I think I'm beautiful. All right, now my teacher says the body, the mind, and the senses are there to serve the soul. Yes, everybody thinks yoga is about dealing with the body, but it really has a higher calling, you could say, which is to learn how to make your own instincts super conscious. And if you do, you will develop intuition, a real deep inner knowing. And then you realize that the light you have that makes you consciousness is borrowed, it's not yours. When they say Atman is Brahman, that point of light within yourself, it's not yours. It's really the Spirit's. So the thing is that we have this capacity to reflect that light. As long as you don't get lost in the wrong identification, it comes through you, it pours through you, and that's one aspect of what makes you beautiful, is your allowance of your own spiritual nature to shine. Now my teacher Ramdas used to say, the learned mind, the conditioned mind, is a prison. The prison is the learned mind. And if you think you're free, you'll never escape, because there's no critique, there's no critical thinking to see how you got stuck there, how you got into a claustrophobic prison of your own making, and you realize that you created it yourself. So where you escape the first thing you have to realize is A, you are in prison, and B, has anybody else escaped from this prison? And there's been a lot of clues left for us. This is not just a jumbled, murky maze. People have figured this out, and they've left a legacy for us to follow. So you need the help of other people who have escaped from the prison. Take the clues from them, and then keep on going. And if you realize this, you'll be like a Japanese Zen person who says, not knowing what the presence is, my eyes are filled with tears of gratitude. Even though we may not be able to figure out the ultimate mystery, just the fact that we exist here, just to be is a blessing, just to live is holy. And that in itself ought to make you so appreciative. And maybe your eyes won't fill with tears of gratitude, as it says here in the Zen technique. But you get the idea how meaningful it is. Thank you so much for the gift of life. Every day when you wake up, I always say, my soul has been returned to me one more day. Thank you so much. So what are you going to do with that? Well, one thing is I'm trying to change by the way I live and the way I share with other people, and I'm not alone here, the way the media negatively portrays the aging process. The elders are either senile, doddering, ineffectual buffoons with spittle hanging from their mouth, or the opposite, wholesome, unwrinkled, perfect white teeth, fun seekers working hard to recapture the vigor of their middle years so they can keep their place in the youth culture. That's totally bogus. So whether it's looking at older people as either pathetic or idealized, they're either narcissistic consumers of the public services or physically and mentally frail people worthy of pity or contempt. Not so. Don't do that. And for the younger people, if you live long enough, you're going to grow into an older person also. Help break the mold of what we think aging is all about. Aging, into saging, as my rabbi says. Can we grow into wise human beings, mature human beings that pass the torch on intergenerationally from our experience and our love to help empower the next generations coming after us? But to do this, you have to confront pain. We all react to pain by closing down, withdrawing, hiding, deflecting. But to fully give your gifts in the midst of life's challenges, you have to live with an open heart, even if it hurts. And actually sharing your pain shows solidarity and vulnerability with everybody else as well. So there's no reason to hide it, no reason to indulge in it, but certainly to share it as part of your total communication. That's what you have to do. So you won't know any of these things unless you try. That's the key to affirmations already, right? We say pre-pave the road ahead with mental envisioning. Make yourself feel good in that virtual reality at least. Do it and then pass on. And whatever you do, don't do anything for personal recognition. Don't do anything to hope other people will be grateful, because that kind of gratitude just creates resentment and obligation. So the simple thing is know the truth about anything. And what is the truth? It's nothing less than the action of spirit in every aspect of your life. All right, my friends, Saturday I'll be back at Chai Yoga, Shack 1942 North Levitt from 2 to 5. We'll be doing a workshop on neck and shoulders. So come and join us. You'll learn some really great stuff about yourself. And if you're a teacher, you'll learn how to body sight and do some hands-on correction for people who have problems in their upper body. Hope to see you there.